Chapter 10. Darkness consumes nothing. "What do we do with him?" the girl asks, her voice barely audible. "Don't touch him," the boy orders, just as quiet. His voice fades as he continues. Moments of silence pass before a third whisper enters. "Guys, I hear them coming," another girl informs. "Let's go," the boy says. Nothingness lingers within darkness. Rossner opens his eyes and lets out a groan. His head is pounding. What happened? Then the memories come flooding back like a raging wave. The tunnel, the altar, the dark door, those eyes. Ignited with fear, he jumps to his feet. The sudden movement blurs his vision and sends his head spinning. Rossner stumbles around for a few seconds until he bumps into a wall and steadies himself. He takes a few steady breaths before slowly looking around. He is still in the cave. All the torches still light up the room. How long has he been here? Could he have simply fallen asleep? He sees the room, but his eyes drift to the dark door. No, the eyes were no dream. The door stands before him, almost laughing at Rossner for thinking it was a dream. There is still a chance he dreamt it all, right? A small rumble bounces off the walls of darkness behind the door. Rossner sprints for the exit. The only thought stirring through his mind is, why would Shadow bring me here? As Rossner charges through the roots, he shouts, "Shadow! Why in the 7 realms would you—" Shadow? Last he remembers, the cat was pacing back and forth in front of the entrance. Now he is nowhere in sight. Rossner scans the brush and open areas, but the cat is gone. Desperation starts to seep in. There's no way Shadow would wander off like this. Rossner takes off running towards the house. If there is one place that Shadow will be, it is there. He has to be. The longer he runs, the greater his anxiety grows. When he reaches the property line behind the stables, he scans around again to no avail. How long was he out? Losing ideas, he rushes through the back door of the stables. All the horses jump at the harsh entry. He calls out to Shadow, peering in the nooks and crannies of the building, but comes up empty-handed. He even checks the stalls after calming the horses. No sign of the beast anywhere. Where is Shadow? Frustration rages within Rossner, mixed with concern. Giving up on the stables, he bursts through the main doors and heads for the house. He doubts the cat is near there, but he is running out of options. As he reaches the front porch, he stops dead in his tracks, his eyes trained on the arch. Claws tear at his throat as he tries to find something, anything, to say. Finally he mutters, "No, please no." Rossner picks up his pace, now headed for the arch at the property's entrance. With every step closer, his speed increases, and with them, his pleas increase in number and volume. "Please, let me be wrong. This cannot be. Please, no, 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 no." When he reaches the entrance, the only thing he finds himself able to do is sob. Watching him from above with glazed eyes is Casey, hanging from her tail. Her mutilated body displays tufts of missing hair, cuts, and gouges. Even a couple bones stick out. Blood soaks through what is left of her fur, dripping off the hairs and into a small puddle on the ground. Rossner lets his tears come all at once, blurring his vision while he cries mute his ears. It is one thing to kill Casey, but to mutilate her is a ruthless act that cannot go unpunished. Anger begins to replace sorrow. He wipes his eyes clear with the back of his hand. Whoever did this will pay. A small glimmer catches his eye. Pinned to a post is a dagger holding up a piece of parchment. He throws the dagger to the ground and reads the note in hand. I warned you not to lie. Be happy your family was not home. If I see you again, you will share the dog's fate. The note crumbles in Rosner's fist. He retrieves the dagger and holds the flat of the blade in front of his face. Hot, angry tears streak down his cheeks. It is not I who will share her fate, he tells himself, but you who have committed this crime, and I vow to be the one to take your life. Careful. Rosner jumps, bearing the dagger in front of him. To his surprise, standing a few steps behind Casey, is the old man. Those are powerful words, he tells Rosner. The strength in his voice is unnerving, but kind and gentle. He nods at the dagger. Would you put that away? You will hurt yourself. Rosner strains against the man's words. Before now, he did not even know the old man could speak. Now it seems even the land listens to his words. The wind grows stagnant. The trees seem to pull in their branches, and even the grass falls away from him. But Rosner refuses. Answers are needed. Who are you? He demands of the old man, pausing at every word with fear and anger. So many things have happened in a short period, with none of them making any sense. He needs answers. The old man spreads his arms out in a gesture of peace. My name is Polfrey the Wise. First of... well, you'll figure out the rest later, I am sure. But you are welcome to call me Frey. When Rosner neglects to lower the weapon, he returns his hands back in front of him. A look of disappointment falls over the old man's face. Come now, Rosner. I'm here to help you, not hurt you. I do not believe you, Rosner spits. This man is playing at something. He knows it. The old man, Polfrey, shrugs. I do not blame you. I have not done anything for me to earn your trust. I guess I just expected a little something for saving your life. Rosner shakes his head. Saving my life? You never... As the words fall, he cannot help but think about Casper, about how dead he looked, his cold, evil glare. Are you talking about Casper? What was left of him, at least. You see, I have been watching... Rosner had enough. Why? He demands. Why have you been watching me and my siblings? A gentle smile plays on Polfrey's lips. As I said, you will learn soon enough. No, Rosner shouts. I want to know. His voice escapes him. Behind the old man, someone, moves in the woods. They wander to its edge, just enough for the life-giver's light to reach their armor. Awe strikes Rosner down as a soldier unlike any he has ever seen that watches from where they stand. Gold coil wraps around blinding white horns that protrude upward like a bull's from its equally white helmet. The rest of the plate is a fierce white, like the helmet, with gold trim along every piece of the armor. No symbols adorn the plate. He stands well over 6 feet and looks as built as an ox. A red jewel-encrusted hilt glistens in the light at their hip. Then just like that, the soldier turns and slips back into the wood. Before he completely disappears, Rosner manages to catch a glimpse of the shield across his back. The massive shield seems to be impossibly large. Clear stone bordered by a thin ring of jewels set in gold. Beneath it, Rosner spots a symbol that looks extremely familiar. Without thinking about it, he pulls out the ring from his pocket and peers down at it. When he looks up, the soldier is gone. But it does not matter. He knows what he saw and sees what is in the ring. They are the same. You saw him, Rosner peers back at Palfrey. I do not know what you are talking about. He must be seeing things. Besides, there's no way he will tell this guy anything, showing up randomly like he did. Palfrey looks to the sky. It seems you were right. He peers back at Rosner and says, I will take my ring back, please. Rosner holds up the ring. You mean this ring? There is no way. Not until I get answers. Then he pockets it. And who was right? A second of silence passes between the two before the old man smiles. Thank you, Rosner. We will speak again very soon. Then he gives a small wave and walks away. For a moment, he stares at Palfrey, confused. Why is he thanking him? He did not do anything. But as the old man waves, Rosner catches a flash of light from his hand. There is no way. Is there? Rosner reaches his hand into his pocket. Empty. He cannot be wearing the ring, can he? No, he must have dropped it. Rosner falls to his knees and sweeps the ground with his hand. It does not take long for him to realize the ring is not there, but he continues his search out of anger. Soon he forces himself to give up. Somehow, Palfrey acquired the ring that was in his pocket without doing anything. He looks back up to find that Palfrey gone. Desperate for answers, Rosner rises to his feet and sprints after the old man. How far can the old man actually go? To his surprise, when he rounds the bend towards the village, Palfrey is nowhere to be seen. How long was he on the ground? It could not have been for more than a few seconds. The likelihood of finding him now is very slim, but he continues down the beaten path to the village in hopes of spotting him. When he reaches the main road, he scans the abandoned house, only to find it, well, abandoned. Where in the seven realms could that old man have disappeared to? Hey! Rosner turns around to the familiar voice. Sindra emerges from the market and does a little light jog over to him. It has been a little. It has it not? He greets her with a smile, for a moment forgetting why he even came out here. That it has. How are you? Doing fine. What about you? You look like you are on a mission. She laughs. Rosner's face heats up. She sees right through him. Yeah. A small one, I suppose. She puts her hands on her hips. Well, what is this mission? I'm looking for something to do. Rosner remains silent. He cannot tell her. It would sound crazy. But if he says no, he will feel bad for pushing her away. Sindra gives him a playful shove. Oh, come on. I will behave. Besides, who is your favorite? Man, she is persistent. He needs to come up with something. Then he does. But he likes the idea of telling her no better. You are, he tells her. And actually, I was looking for you. I was heading out to shoot when I thought maybe you would like to come. She gives him a smile he can stare at all day. Lead the way. He leads her to the opening in the wood where his dummy sits opposite him, pausing their walk just out of sight of the property entrance so he can take down Casey before she sees, and again at the stables to retrieve his bow. Aside from telling her to wait before she can see Casey, they travel in silence, listening to the sound of the wind blowing through the trees. In the stables, the horses hardly give him any notice. As they travel through the woods, birds sing and small critters throw leaves into the air while they run around its floor. He finds a spot across from the dummy and notches an arrow. He pauses before drawing it to look over his shoulder at Sindra. Just stay behind me. He understands he probably does not need to say it, but doing so makes him feel more comfortable. Besides, No one has ever seen him shoot before, minus his siblings. Having someone else makes him a little nervous. He lifts the bow and draws halfway before stopping. Something does not feel right. He turns the arrow to the quiver and stands there for a moment thinking. Then it occurs to him. He sets down the bow and slips off the quiver. Then, completely forgetting that Sindri is watching him, he takes his shirt off. Now back to what is familiar, Rosner picks the bow back up and slides an arrow out of the quiver before slipping it onto the string. He draws back and takes a breath. A split second later, the arrow flies, impaling itself into the dummy's forehead. A multitude of arrows later, the dummy has another 2 arrows in his leg, 3 in his gut, 1 in the chest, another in the arm, and a few in the wood behind him. With 1 more arrow in its quiver, Rosner notches it and takes a long, slow breath. This one will go through the heart. He draws back. He can feel the power behind the bow. Just a smooth release of the fingers is all he needs. As he is about to release the arrow, a soft, cool hand brushes his shoulder blades. The sudden sensation causes his entire body to tense. Somehow, he manages to refrain from releasing the arrow. It is like you have small wings that are trying to spread. Sindra's voice is quiet, but full of wonder. Rosner swallows before he replies. They are just shoulder blades, he tells her in a tone just as quiet. His voice, however, trickles with worry and curiosity. What is she doing? They are just so prominent. Rosner eases on the bow and returns the last arrow to the quiver. It is at this moment Sindri takes her hand off his back. She turns away as he turns towards her, but not quick enough. For the briefest second, he sees her face turn a shade of red. Is she really embarrassed? Well, he supposes if he did something like that, he would be too. She gives a side nod to the dummy. Nice shots. Now Rosner turns a shade of red. Thanks. But I could have... Both are thrown off their feet while birds take to the sky. The land shakes with the violence of a stampede of 1,000,000 horses. The two look at each other bewildered. What is happening? Sindri asks. I do not know, Rosner admits, but I think we should go. He grabs her hand and leads her back through the wood, leaving behind his bow, quiver, and arrows. The shaking increases as they get closer to the village. When they reach the outskirts of the property, Rosner looks up over the tree line on the opposite side. Falling beneath it is the tip of the tallest spire of the castle. What is happening? He gives Sindri a half glance and says, Come on! Both charge forward. They sprint past the stables and the house and make their way under the arch. When they reach the bend, the two stop in their tracks, horrified at the sight that beholds them. Sliding off the edge of the cliff is the entire castle. Parts of the building break off and plunge into the water below. An entire tower falls inward, crashing through the center of the castle and disappearing into a cloud of dust. Then, in a split second, the slow descent is amplified 100-fold. As suddenly as it started, the castle plunges over the cliff, leaving behind a huge crater to remember it by.